Brooke Show. I am #1 daughter of Honorable Father. My Chinese name is Xiu Ling. Translation is Pretty Belle. Empress Dowager Mother also translates it to me Ding-a-ling. I am Daddy's big girl, someday to be Daddy's little girl, with the gift of Weight Watchers that my honorable parents gave me for a Christmas present. Thank you, honorable parents, even though I did not ask you for this generous gift. My American name is Denise, but Daddy-o calls me Dee-Dee-o. You can call me Dee Dee. I don't mind being the oldest daughter. My brother Randy is still the oldest, and I had a couple of good years before my sister Candy came along. Now that you know I'm the middle child, you can probably understand where my need for attention comes from. Truth is, I love my family very much, and I think we all turned out pretty darn good. Mommy Dearest might disagree about how I turned out, but Daddy-o will always agree with me and back me up. Not in front of Mom, but when it's just Dad and me, we're cool. Mom used to tell me I had a face only a mother could love, and I would tell her, that's not true, my daddy loves me too. Daddy-o, I know I told you this in the last Christmas letter I wrote you, but I wanted to tell all of your guests too. I brag about my wonderful Daddy-o every day, at least once a day, if not 8 times a day. Because I have about 8 patients a day that I clean their teeth, and while I'm cleaning their teeth, they can't talk much. In other words, my patients are a captive audience. They tell me they don't mind me talking, but I think they're just afraid of me and my sharp instruments. Pretty smart of them, I would say. Actually, when I'm talking about Daddy-o, they are fascinated that such a wonderful man could produce such a weird daughter as me. Or is it as I? Heck, I don't know, Candy is the writer. I'm just the maker of beautiful smiles. Daddy-o moved City Slicker Mom to Chino from the bright lights of Los Angeles. And Mom moved for love. Right, Mom? And because Daddy-o looked like Tarzan and Rifleman all in one. Heck, even I wouldn't have moved to Chino for a hunk of a man like my Daddy-o. My parents always ask how we, my patients always ask how we ended up in Chino. I tell them that Chino means China in Spanish, and my parents probably thought there would be more Chinese there. At the time, I think we were one of only 2 Chinese families there. Of course, I have to give Mommy credit for moving us to the 909, because Daddy-o started out as a teacher at SAI, Spanish American Institute. And she probably told him to be his own boss, and so they moved to Ontario and opened the dairy named China Acres. Is that right, Mom? Yeah, see, she always likes a man who works for himself. Thanks to living on a dairy for my early years, I will probably always be infamous as the only Chinese girl to ever run for Dairy Princess, next to my Dutch and Portuguese counterparts. I didn't win, but I received a really cute t-shirt that on the front said, milk does a body good. And on the back it said, see other side. Mommy always referred to Daddy-o as a jack of all trades, master of none. She has to use a word now that he is the master of the ballroom. You know, and you will see that later on tonight. After the dairy, he became a duck farmer, then a worm farmer, then a goldfish farmer, a vintner, and now a ballroom dancer. I didn't know it at the time, but my friends referred to me as the worm farmer's daughter. I told Daddy-o that, and he laughed, and I asked, what are you laughing at? That means you're the worm farmer. Daddy-o, I remember going with you once when you were making worm and brine shrimp deliveries. You ended the day by taking me to Knott's Berry Farm to pan for gold. I wasn't very good at it, but I still have my tiny sample of gold in my jewelry box. I remember the time you made us hamburgers on soggy white Wonder Bread. I much prefer the tuna fish sandwiches you make for me now on raisin bread. It's now one of my favorites. Daddy's favorite too. I remember you taking me to my 9th grade open house, and everyone thought you were my boyfriend. Because you look so groovy and young in your leather jacket. I remember boogie boarding with you in Oceanside and catching the perfect wave together. We were both giggling so much during that ride, I will never forget it as long as I live, because you look like this, Dad. That's true. I remember you getting baptized at Doheny State Beach, and me trying to take pictures of you and not falling in the ocean. When I had to get surgery, I remember how scared you and Mom looked and how relieved you both looked when I woke up. I have a ton more memories, but I have to end this nostalgic journey sometime. But Daddy-O, I just wanted to thank you again for being such a wonderful father and putting up with me for all my life. I know that's not an easy task. Just ask Mom. At 15 years old, I decided I was too old to kiss my father goodnight anymore. Not long after that, I realized I was wrong. And I gladly kiss him goodnight every chance I get. Happy birthday, Daddy-O. Love, Dee-Dee-O. P.S. To prevent global warming, please recycle this letter by reading it again tomorrow.